And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzo Goose, back with you for another edition of Brant's weekly comic rankings. Sorry I didn't make the live show. I was not feeling well. I'm still a little rough right now, but I wanted to get my rankings out to you guys and let you know where things felt for me this week. So I read 24 books. I had like 36 potential, 28 I wanted to get through, but I ended up getting through 24. So without further ado, and I'm probably going to keep these pretty brief this week, let's get into it. Number 24 was Dino Saucers, number 1 from Lion Forge. Honestly, I was really disappointed by this. It kind of it hurt my childhood. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to dog an indie, even if it is a license. I still don't want to do that. But I was disappointed. I was expecting more. Number 23 for me was Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, number 22. I'm just not a fan of the art style in this, and I'm not crazy about this particular storyline, so I'll be glad when this one's over. Number 22 is Quicksilver No Surrender, issue number 4. I've really enjoyed this book, and I will say, beyond my worst pick, everything is 3 and above. This one I gave 3 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I feel like it's dragging on and dragging on and dragging on, but we got some answers finally here. I'm tired of Quicksilver kind of whining and complaining, and I wish we would see a different side, a more confident side of him at this point. All right, number 21 is Death or Glory, number 4. Still a step up from issue 2, not quite as good as last issue. Interesting stuff with the what would you call them, nuns? I'm not really sure what they're supposed to be. Number 20 is Outpost Zero, number 2. I gave this 3 1/4. I didn't think this was quite as strong as the first issue, but the emotional beats were really strong there with the girl, and I can't think of her name, really upset over Steven's death, or supposed death, and why. You know, there's this big looming question across the whole town. So many emotional beats in this series. I think this series is just going to keep getting stronger, and I'm enjoying it. Number 19 is Detective Comics 986. Not as strong as last issue, which was not as strong as the issue before that. It's kind of going downhill for me right now, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this arc and the direction that it's going. Number 18 is Champions, number 23. The Man-Thing stuff, whatever. I like that Sam Nova is still trying to dive into the midst of the battle and everything when he can't. And you've got a lot of turmoil there, and you're dealing with the stuff that happens with Bib and her trying to fight her emotions and all this stuff. So you got some really good character moments in this issue. Number 17 is Hunt for Wolverine Adamantium Agenda, number 4. The flashback stuff with Wolverine and what to do with his body was really strong, and also Tony Stark's crisis of conscience, whether he was going to save that information. And then of course the cliffhanger they leave you with, the reveal that there may be a sleeper in the X-Men, was very interesting. Number 16 is Tomb Raider Inferno, number 3, another good issue of this. The only reason this one was lower for me this time is because it was all in her head as she's fighting this drug or whatever. She's seeing visions of this and that, and she has to break through, and she doesn't do that till the very end of the issue. Number 15 is The Flash, number 52. I don't think this isn't the strongest issue that it's been in the past few. Him teaming up with Commander Cold was interesting and that kind of thing, but the whole trickster thing and the giant trickster, it's just kind of lost me with that a little bit. Number 14 is X-Men Blue, number 33. I've actually been enjoying this arc, but this particular story was Magneto sprung into the future, basically seeing himself idol worshipped, and I don't know, it wasn't quite as strong as the past couple of issues for me. Number 13, The Dead Hand, number 4. I thought this was a really strong issue, but It was all focused on Roger, and it was kind of a history lesson. I think the way that it ended, it's going to lead into a much more interesting and action-packed issue next issue. Number 12 is Nancy Drew, number 3. Another fantastic issue of this series as well. I'm really enjoying this take on Nancy Drew so much more than I thought I would. I've said that every issue so far. But we get to the bottom of this a little bit, and we get the murder scene, and you get a lot of character moments with Nancy kind of having to get crap by her friends because she went off on her own again, and then she does it again by the end of the issue. Number 11, and everything from here up is 4 stars or above. So number 11 is Oblivion Song number 6, and it's the end of the first arc, and as you see Nathan coming back, actually convincing his brother to come back with him, and things don't go quite his way, and you find out something. I don't want to spoil this one, but it was a pretty big cliffhanger at the end of that to lead into the next arc. So very interesting stuff there. Number 10, Red Hood and the Outlaws number 25. The highlight of this was the battle between Bruce and Jason, and Bruce just letting go. And there's my favorite panel in this is where Jason says, "I've never even seen you hit the Joker that hard," and that just kind of spoke of how disappointed Batman was and just how damaged their relationship is. Number 9, Strangers in Paradise 25, number 5. Again, this was a catching up issue. It was just catch you and Tammy sitting there kind of recapping things, and catch you learning that there's an ulterior motive here and having to figure out whose side everyone is on. So kind of a bridging issue, but still a good one. Number 8, Superman number 2. I'm enjoying this Phantom Zone thing. I think it's interesting, and the whole use of the nuclear man in this book was just, everybody was kind of concerned what's Bendis going to do with this, and what we saw was kind of fitting. It was very interesting though, the way that it was handled. Alright, number 7 is Unnatural number 2. I'm enjoying this. It's a social commentary on equality and just a lot of socio-political issues, but it's wrapped in this beautiful artistic package with these interesting characters and this weird dream thing that's going on that has some kind of history to it. So it was a really good issue. Number 6, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 50. This one almost made my top 5. A really solid issue. You get Carol and Hal meeting up again and kind of getting back together, and you have the culmination of all this Dark Star stuff. So we're ready to move on to the next chapter of Green Lantern.
Warning, if you don't want to be spoiled for this week's Frontline Live, save your place here and come back and watch this later, because we are now entering Brant's Top 5.
Alright, my top 5. Here we go. Number 5, Fantastic Four number 1. I thought it was a very solid, heartwarming issue with a great ending. It wasn't quite, it didn't quite deliver as much as I wanted it to, but still, I mean, it's in my top 5. I gave it 4 stars. Had to give Fantastic Four 4 stars. But yeah, it was a really good issue, and I'm just excited for the next one now. Alright, number 4, Spider-Man Annual number 1. This one also surprised me. I gave this one 4 1/4 stars, and also the next one. My top 2 are 4.5 stars. This was somebody else writing Miles in his own book, and it was solid and it was good, and it was this lost tale of, rewritten history as if he was in the 616 the entire time, this time during the Secret Invasion. Really good stuff. They got the voice down, and you had family stuff going on, you had stuff with Ganke. I thought it was a pretty solid issue. Number 3 is Sideways number 7. The meat of this issue and the beauty of this issue was Derek dealing with the loss of his mom and bearing that guilt because he didn't call her back, and having to figure out what to do with all that. The Seven Soldiers stuff I wasn't as crazy about, but everything else was really powerful. Number 2, Domino number 5. I just absolutely love this series. I just love what they're doing with Domino. Domino and Shang-Chi teaming up and Domino doing all the work. I mean, just come on. It's a beautiful book. It's very well written. It's witty. It's humorous. And it's got a lot of emotional resonance for me. And of course, my number 1 is Amazing Spider-Man. Number 3, fantastic book. Love the play on the whole Superman splitting. You have Spider-Man doing it in here, where he's literally been split from his Spider-Man half, but things, they take a twist where things are jumbled up now, and so maybe some of the emotional dampeners, emotional blocks aren't there, so Spider-Man could be letting loose when he shouldn't be, and things like that. So it's very interesting twist that they're taking on it there. So good stuff. Those are my rankings, 24 books down, and yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and let me know what you thought in the comments below about my picks and what yours were. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and please hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you get all kinds of updates when Comic Frontline posts videos. And of course, you can follow me over on my channel at Brant Fowler, and you can follow me at Brant Fowler across social media. Zone 4 Podcast right here on Comic Frontline and Zone4Podcast.com, and of course, Last Ember Press. And join me next week for a brand new episode of Brant's Weekly Comic Rankings. Yeah, that's it. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.